I'm sure you did have a glimpse of what's really coming your way. So let's get this started. My name is Vidun Upadhyay. I welcome you again to the most interesting. As you all know, this is for you to know if you just joined in. This is the Economic Times CMO Tech Strategy Summit 2022. So let's dive into our first most awaited session. Reinventing the CMO role for today's world. Rings in a lot, doesn't it? Actually, it does. Think about it. We are evolving, things are changing. Learn, unlearn, learn again, and break it down to bring about what is the need of the hour. And we have some very special to join us and give you complete insight about what it takes to reinvent the CMO's role for today's world. Joining us is Pedro Earp, who's the Chief Marketing and ZX Officer for InBev. Well, Pedro is the Chief Marketing Officer, as you know, and is a world-leading brewer with InBev and the Chief of ZX Ventures, InBev's global incubator and a venture capital arm. Prior to becoming a Chief Marketing Officer, he was the Chief Disruptive Growth Officer at InBev. In that role, he launched and led the ZX Ventures to help the brewer create new products on multiple fronts, including craft and specialty beers, e-commerce, home brewing, and retail activations. Well, he has spent his entire career at InBev, beginning from the year 2000, about 22 years back, is when he joined in, and he is with them going stronger. When he was a global management trainee in Latin America, when he joined in the year 2000. Well, during his tenure with InBev, he has worked in multiple divisions, including marketing, consumer connections, and merger and acquisitions. He's also a member of InBev's Executive Board of Management, and he holds a Bachelor of Science in Financial Economics from the London School of Economics. Ladies and gentlemen, in each one of you out there, we're very happy and delighted to present to you our first opening address here at the CMO Summit. And this is Reinventing the CMO Role for today's world with Pedro Earp. Now,
good morning, everybody. I'm excited to be here, but I just want to start by acknowledging the situation in Ukraine and saying that our prayers and our hearts are with everybody impacted, all the victims of the conflict that it's going on there. I also want to thank the Economic Times for this opportunity talking to you about the evolving role of the CMO. This very exciting times for all of us, and I'm gonna dive into it. So if you take a look at the classic definition of marketing, marketing is the business of promoting and selling products and services. But I think as marketeers, we need to have a higher ambition. I think as marketers, an evolving role, an amazing evolving role could be to improve people's lives by addressing deep consumer needs, by creating and promoting services and products. This is a much harder thing to do. This is a much deeper thing to do, but I think it's a much more noble career and much noble role for our profession. This evolved role of marketers, I really believe, needs to count on new capabilities. If we think about the capabilities that were required when we were just promoting and selling products that already existed, these capabilities rely mainly on creativity and media. It's the time of the madman. You know, people would get a product that exists and use all the creativity to sell that product and use creative media in order to do that. If we're going to move from that to a road where we're going to try to understand people's lives and try to design and create new products that address their human needs, a lot of new capabilities need to come into place. And that's what I believe is the evolving role of a CMO. So the first one, of course, is a deep consumer understanding. And today we have the benefit of having a lot of data in order to understand consumers in a much better way than we had in the past. So deep consumer understanding through the usage of data is a new capability that we're looking forward. The second one is about product design and innovation. So if in the past, the main role of the marketer was to promote and sell products that already exist, now I think the marketing should be responsible for also understand the design of the products that will fulfill the consumer needs, and also making sure that this design is 10 times better than anything that exists out there. Another one is how then you connect with your consumer. If in the past, mass media and TV advertising was the main way of promoting products, the world has evolved. Today, if you take a look at the main media platforms, a lot of them are advertising free. The fastest growing media platforms are advertising free. So today, if a marketer wants to get his message across and wants to promote his goods, he needs to create content that entertains people instead of stopping them or interrupting these consumers. We also need to think about conversion, right? If at the time the marketers will focus primarily on advertising and the sales team would focus on sales, these worlds are blending. So today you need to make sure that you bring your brand purpose all the way from the product and the advertising to become an experience, be it in store or in your B2B platform or in your D2C platform. So this needs to be a continuum and not a discrete role of the marketer focusing on the top of the funnel. And I really believe some of these capabilities, if in the past people would think about data analytics and things like that, you would think that these capabilities would kind of belong to the data capabilities team or to the tech team. And I really believe that some of these capabilities are like math. You know, today you don't have a department of math in any company that kind of handles all the math that goes on, you know, in a company. Math is a capability or a skill set that needs to be spread out. And I really believe that some of these new capabilities, such as creativity, such as understanding of data analytics, the understanding of direct to consumer business, this needs to be capabilities that are spread out all over the organization. So I think the opportunity is here for us. If, you know, in the past, you would kind of classify marketers at kind of top of the funnel marketers, right? People that were amazing at brand positioning and advertising, and bottom of the funnel marketers, people that were really focused on, you know, conversion and direct to consumer business. I think it's an opportunity to write the book on how to do both the top of the funnel and the bottom of the funnel in a seamless way. Actually, the funnel is not the funnel anymore. It became a circle because you need to, you know, let consumers be aware of your product. You got to make them consume it, and you got to retain them. And the retention also provides a lot of data and a lot of information for you to be able to offer even more and better services to your consumers. So in our organization, we kind of had a plan on how to evolve these capabilities and how to get there. And I think the first thing is a mindset shift. We need to move from being great at advertising to really focus on business growth. Business growth at the end needs to be the metric that measures the success of the whole marketing organization, of the modern marketing organization. And you need to embed this culture of growth in everything. You need to embed it in objectives. You need to embed it in measurement. You need to embed it in recognition and even in rewards. If you of course focus a culture on great advertising, and if you focus your culture on equity metrics, then that's where the company is going to go. If you focus on business growth, then the brand owners, they will feel the accountability for delivering the growth of the business and not only great advertising. The second one is you need to spend money and time acquiring the capabilities of the future. In our case, we have for the past few years tried to acquire the specialist talent that we need to deliver these capabilities. We recruited in marketing alone more than 300 people in data analytics. We created our own internal marketing agency, which is called Draftline, with more than 500 people. We created direct-to-consumer platforms and business-to-business, B2B platforms. And those platforms today, they are tech platforms that We have more than 2,000 people, working on them. So you need to bring the specialist talent, and you need to spend the money and time to make sure that we are acquiring this exceptional talent. The third point on how to make that shift in the role of marketing and the role of the CMO is to ensure that you have an organizational structure that centers around growth missions and not around functional silos. So in the past, if you had data analytics sitting in one side, insights in the other, sales in another, Bs or B2B and D2C platforms in another side, I think the successful marketers in the future are going to be ecosystem orchestrators. So they're going to be able to gather specialists around the business growth objective, and he's going to be able to coordinate everybody in order to drive business growth. And this is a big change. In the past, we saw people more as brand managers, and now they need to become brand CEOs. And to grow their brands, they're going to need a lot of different capabilities that they will not sit under the same roof. The world today is too complex for all these capabilities to sit under the same roof. So you need to have specialized organizations, but the role of the marketer is going to be on how to take all these capabilities and all these people to work in favor of this brand growth. And the last one is how do you deploy an upskilling system and an upskilling methodology that you keep giving people the new skill sets that they need for the future all the time. In every change management challenge that companies have, you always have the 20% of the people that are kind of, the learners, the curious people. They were always going to be ahead of the curve, learning by themselves what's new. And it's amazing to have that people, because they're gonna lead the path for all the people. You're always going to have the 20% that are uncomfortable with change, but the real work is to get the 60% that not necessarily are in front of the pack in terms of new capabilities, but they are willing to learn. And how do you give this 60% the tools and the skill set that they need to succeed in the future? The speed at which marketing capabilities are becoming obsolete is insane. And the role of CMOs and the role of organizations is to make absolutely sure that the people, that work for organization have the tools, the capabilities, and the skill set to deliver. So again, in a nutshell, in our case, the four things that we're really trying to do, first is a mindset shift from just being great marketers and advertisers to being growth leaders. The second one is how do you acquire the capabilities and skill sets that you need for the future. The third one is how do you set an organizational structure centered around growth missions and not functional silos. And then the last one is how do you create a permanent upskilling process for your teams to always acquire the new technologies and the new skill sets that are needed for the future. So in conclusion, I think there has never been a more exciting time to be a marketer. I think the capabilities and the skill sets of marketers have never been more needed. The capability of understanding people, understanding their lives, and creating products that fulfill their needs and make their lives better, that has always been a capability of marketers, and I think that has never been more needed. And I've never been more excited about being a marketer. I really believe there are two choices. I think one choice is to really focus on promoting and selling products that exist and doing great advertising. I think the second option is to have a much deeper and more important role in the world, which is how can we use marketing to make people's lives better every day by creating and promoting products that improve their lives. So these are my messages for today. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Well, didn't I tell you, when Pedro comes in, he brings in the entire experience of last 22 years and much more about how you can reinvent the CMO's role in today's world. Awakening, wasn't that? Well, that's exactly why it was the opening address here at the CMO Summit. Well, we got much more, and the next one is all about you and how you see coming along with you. Driven by purpose, powered by tech. Sounds like a campaign for an ad, doesn't it? But it's actually got much more. We'll look into this with our panelist and a moderator in about some time from now. Stick with us, and if you have time, do visit our partner booths because they have something interesting. And if you have a question, go out, put down your queries, and they will be happy to serve you better. Thank you again. We'll see you in the next one.